Hey there! Today I'm celebrating a milestone that normally I, the big bad wolf, wouldn't care for, given how I wasn't a part of it. But since I'm interested in Disney's old record and tape releases, I thought I'd give it a shot. Today marks the 30th anniversary of Disney's famous syndicated animated series, DuckTales. And what better way to tie in on this milestone than reviewing this? Yep, a DuckTales book and audio read-along. Disney Records came out with 4 of these in fall 1987 as a tie-in into the show. All of them adapted from actual episodes. Fittingly, this one here, Welcome to DuckBurg, is based off the first episode, Don't Give Up the Ship, which was part 1 of a 5-parter premiere known as Treasure of the Golden Sun. I also have another one, Launchpad's Daring Raid, but I'm only reviewing this DuckBurg one here. Now, as I said before, by 1987, change was in the wind for Disney's read-along line. They were now only released on cassette tapes, and many of the older record-only titles went out of print, except for the Aristocats and the generic fairy tale read-alongs that got reissued as new cassette editions. They still had several non-Disney read-alongs during this time as well in the Buena Vista read-along line, and the Disney Discovery series, along with titles based off their other animated series at the time, like the Gummy Bears, the Wuzzles, and the Fluffy Dogs. All the series would also use a similar white background back cover template here. These illustrations are intended as samples only. They do not necessarily appear in this book. No duh! They all generally just use that sample from the Jungle Book read-along. At least the titles in the regular read-along series did. Also, these DuckTales read-alongs would use the actual character voices for the most part, including Rusty Taylor as Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and the late Alan Young as Uncle Scrooge. But I don't get it, how they got him for these DuckTale read-alongs, yet they could get him to voice Mr. Flaversham in the Great Mouse Detective read-along from the previous year. And then this year we lost the great June Foray, whom voiced characters like Magica De-Spell and Ma Beagle. She would have been 100 today if only she didn't die a couple months ago. And quite a few other titles they did during the late 80s would use substitute voices as well, with a few exceptions which I may show in the future. But enough of this talking. Let's see the pictures, hear the story, and read the book.
This is the story of Welcome to DuckBurg. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear the chimes ring like this.
At least that's still the same.
Let's begin now. One bright morning, Scrooge McDuck was inside his money bin, doing his favorite thing in the world.
There's nothing better than swimming in money.
That's him, alright.
Like a gopher, and tossing it up and letting it hit me on the head.
He gathered an armful of coins and threw them into the air. Suddenly, he looked at his watch.
Curse me, toots, I'm late.
He grabbed his top hat and raced off toward the waterfront. There, Scrooge found his nephew, Donald Duck, standing beside Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Dewey wiped away a tear.
Oh,
Why'd
yeah.
you have to go and join the Navy, Uncle Donald? We're gonna miss you so much.
Scrooge glared at Donald.
And what have I done to deserve being stuck with your nephews while you're overseeing the world?
Before Donald could answer, the whistle blew. He hugged the boys and boarded his ship. They waved sadly as he sailed away. A few days later, the boys sat in their room at Scrooge's mansion. Dewey slumped on a small cot.
I knew Uncle Scrooge was an old cheapskate.
Yeah, that's
but I
Rusty
didn't think
Taylor,
he'd put us
who also
in the
voices Minnie
Dewey
Mouse.
stared out their attic window.
I'm bored. Uncle Scrooge won't let us do a single thing.
Dewey jumped up off the cot.
Then let's follow him to work. I've always wanted to see the inside of his money bin.
When Scrooge walked into his office that morning, he heard footsteps behind him. He wheeled around.
What are you boys doing here?
Dewey shrugged.
We haven't seen you in days, Uncle Scrooge. We missed you.
Well, since you're here, you may as well look around. But don't touch anything.
As the nephews were exploring
boy.
the money bin, they wandered into a room labeled Museum. Huey spotted something in a corner.
Hey, look at that old wooden model of a ship. Uncle Donald would love it. Maybe Uncle Scrooge will let us send it to him.
But the second they picked up the ship, a loud alarm bell began to clang. Scrooge raced in.
Same alarm sound as on the TV show, too.
It's a priceless antique. Until further notice, you're grounded.
Hey, that's not fair.
Across town, Scrooge's dreaded enemies...
Oh, some more of that
Boys
Disney
were
read-along
sitting in a
stock
jail cell.
music.
Big Time Beagle turned to
Might
his
remember
brothers.
hearing it on the Great Mouse Detective read-along I reviewed last year. Oh, the Beagle Boys.
But first, we gotta get out of this prison.
A guard came by with a package, and Big
Yeah.
Time ripped it open.
The read-alongs based off the Disney TV shows use the stock music a lot.
The boy eagerly bit into one, and it exploded in his mouth. Big Time grabbed the box.
These aren't bonbons, they're boom booms.
Big Time read a note inside the package.
Use these to escape. Then meet me tonight at the La Orange Theater. It's signed El Capitan. Well, I don't know who this El Capitan guy is, but I sure like his style.
The Beagle Boys stuffed the explosives into the cracks around their cell window. Big Time lit the fuses and jumped back. There was a deafening blast, sending rocks and mortar flying. The Beagle Boys were free.
Yeah, the Beagle Boys are pretty cool.
That night, they broke into the abandoned El Orange Theater.
We've gotten along,
Suddenly,
me and
a
them.
mysterious figure stepped from the shadows.
Here, caballeros. No doubt you wonder why I helped you escape. You're all experts on McDuck's money bin, and I want you to steal something from it.
Big Time grinned at his brothers.
You're looking for cash, right? No, you fool. Something much more valuable.
Back at Scrooge's mansion, the nephews were sitting on their cots. Huey sailed a paper plane across the room.
We can't seem to do anything right. Maybe we should pack our bags and go someplace where we're wanted.
Louie
Yeah,
nodded and
go
pulled
live
their
with Ludwig
suitcases
von
out
Drake
onto
or
the bed.
something.
Dewey packed, shaking his head sadly.
Uncle Scrooge is always so busy, he probably won't even miss us.
Let's just wait and see.
As the nephews were dragging their suitcases past Scrooge's money bin, Dewey suddenly stopped and pointed.
The front door's open. Maybe something's wrong.
They
Yep.
sneaked into the dark building. Ahead, they saw 3 brawny figures with flashlights and a map. Huey started to back away,
The Beagle Boys. We've got to get help.
but Big Time had already spotted them.
It's some kids. Grab 'em, boys.
Huey ducked around a corner with his brothers right behind him.
Upstairs. I've got an idea.
They raced into the museum with the Beagle Boys in pursuit. Huey grabbed the wooden ship from its stand, and once again the alarm began to ring. Big Time dropped his
If
map
Corporal
and
Cape Man were
lunged
here, he would have gone, whoa, it's a fire drill.
We'll be long gone before anyone answers that bell.
Yeah.
At the mansion, the alarm jolted Scrooge out of bed. He raced off to the money bin and discovered his 3 nephews locked
Now
inside.
that alarm bell sound was heard in a lot of places during the 80s.
You were just robbed by the Beagle Boys.
But when Scrooge examined the building, not a single coin was missing, just the antique boat.
As I recall, the only thieves interested in that boat were you 3.
Yeah,
While
right.
I'm working at my candy factory tomorrow, you'll be off. to boarding
Oh.
school.
More of that
The
stock
boys
music.
couldn't sleep. Huey peered at the map.
We already
Big
heard
Time
the
Beagle
stock
had
music
dropped.
cue.
Uncle Scrooge wouldn't even look at this. Hey, you guys, this map's drawn on the back of an old flyer for the El Orange Theater, but that place has been closed for years.
Dewey snapped his fingers.
It must be the Beagle Boys' hideout. If we get the ship back, that'll prove we're telling the truth.
They grabbed their junior woodchuck hats and hurried outside. Soon the boys were hiding in the theater wings. They saw a man in a trench coat arguing with the Beagles.
I freed you from prison.
He looks a
Now you
little like
must give
Pluto
me
in
shit.
disguise.
That was a bargain.
Big Time held the wooden model away from him.
Not so fast, El Capitan. We want half of whatever this boat is worth. Otherwise, I'd burn it.
He struck a match and held it under the ship. El Capitan jumped to his feet.
All right, you've got a deal.
Dewey nudged his brothers.
Yeah, I
When
think.
I give the signal, grab the ship and get out of here.
Dewey untied a rope that disappeared into the shadows high overhead. When he did, a heavy sandbag fell from the darkness and crashed between El Capitan and the Beagle Boys. In the confusion, the nephews grabbed the boat and sprinted for the
Classic
back door.
Disney crash
El Capitan
sound.
leaped into their path, his eyes blazing.
Give me the ship, niños, or I'll play castanets on your little heads.
The boys froze. Before they could react, Big Time rushed at them and tossed a canvas tarp over their heads like a net.
Bravo! A perfect catch.
As the Beagle Boys were congratulating themselves, the tarp settled flat to the floor.
Oh.
El Capitan rushed over and jerked the canvas aside.
There's a trapdoor here.
Of course.
Those little thieves have escaped. After them, you barnacles.
The Beagle Boys chased the nephews onto the roof. Holding the ship, Huey ran to the edge.
Look next door. It's Uncle Scrooge's candy factory.
He stepped out onto some
Now the
wires
stock
leading
music,
to the
I
building.
remember the early 90s
Dewey
Snow White and the
followed
Seven
close
Dwarfs
behind.
read-along remake
Big
used the
Time
stock
stopped
music
at the
library as well,
Take that British
instead of the
stock
original
and
Frank
stop.
Churchill score.
He took hold of the wire and ripped it loose. As it fell, the three boys grabbed onto the end and swung through the windows of Scrooge's factory. The boys plopped safely into a huge vat of marshmallow cream. Dewey looked up.
Uncle Scrooge, you're here.
Scrooge glared at his nephews.
Oh,
What's all this commotion?
A second later, the Beagle Boys came crashing through the windows. Big Time raced toward Huey.
Give me that, you brat.
Before the Beagle Boy could grab it, Huey thrust something into Scrooge's hands. Scrooge stared at it.
The ship? Oh, you lads were telling the truth.
With Big Time almost upon them, Scrooge pushed his nephews.
Get out of here, boys. I've dealt with these Beagle bums before.
All three boys stopped.
Yep, in the
and
comics
Dewey
and
looked
stuff.
Scrooge in the eye.
No, sir, Uncle Scrooge. We're all in this together.
Scrooge hesitated, then smiled.
Good lads. Now watch this.
He pulled a lever, and thousands of gumballs spilled out of a giant machine, tripping the Beagle Boys. While they were slipping and sliding across the floor, Scrooge jumped out on a high platform and held up the ship.
You jail jerks. I have not
yeah,
yet
this
been
show
able to
and the
break-
Soccer Mania TV special marked the animated debuts of the Beagle Boys, too, as they were originally created for the comics, just like Uncle Scrooge was.
A hopper overhead sprang open, and tons of sugar poured out, burying the Beagles. Coughing and sputtering, the Beagle Boys dug their way to the top. Burgers saw Scrooge first and chased him down an aisle, but Dewey was ready. Using a strand of taffy like a giant slingshot, he fired a pie right into Burger's face. Scrooge
That's a Hanna-Barbera sound there. The original DuckTales TV show used a lot of Hanna-Barbera sound effects in it.
Then he pulled the lever and a trap door opened under Bouncer's feet, trapping him into a huge vat of sticky caramel. another part of the factory, Huey looked for the third Beagle Boy. Suddenly, he felt someone grabbing him from behind.
Oh.
Big Time held up Huey and grinned at Scrooge.
Hey, McDuck, look what I got. Give me the boat now, or else.
Thinking fast, Scrooge turned to his other nephews.
Don't give up the ship, boys. We're
That's the title of the
He
episode.
told them what to do, and they ran off. Scrooge held up the model.
all right, Big Time. It's a deal. We're releasing the others. Just don't hurt my nephew.
Big Time dropped Huey and grabbed the ship.
It's a pleasure doing business with you, McDuck.
Scrooge pulled Huey toward him and gave a signal. High above them, Louie pulled a lever and a gigantic vat began to tip. Before the startled Big Time could move out of the way, he was swamped in gallons of liquid chocolate. The chocolate instantly froze solid. Scrooge eyed the trapped burglar happily.
Now that's what I call sweet revenge.
Ha!
The old zillionaire turned to his nephews.
I should have trusted you boys, but I'll make it up to you. I know. I'll move you from the attic to the garage.
Oh,
Huey,
really?
Dewey, and Louie threw their arms around him, and Scrooge hugged them tightly.
We make a great team, don't we, lads?
Yeah, they do.
What a family.
And there's the story. But what's DuckTales without its iconic theme song?
Life is like a hurricane in DuckBurg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a DuckBurg. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Every
Yeah, this is a version that was recorded just for the read-along cassettes, too.
tales of daring, do bad and hot DuckTales. Danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad and good DuckTales. Not ponytails or cottontails, no DuckTales.
Yeah, this version's like about 30 seconds longer than the TV theme itself. Then there's the longer version on the Disney Afternoon CD from 1990.
Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad and good DuckTales. Not ponytails or cottontails, no DuckTales.
Woo!
That was the end of the story. If you would like to hear it again, turn the tape over.
There you have it. A read-along adaptation of the first DuckTales episode, complete with its iconic theme song. Today, though, the Disney read-along line doesn't really adapt very many of Disney's TV cartoons, with a few exceptions, like Phineas and Ferb or Sylvia the First. And I don't think the current Disney read-alongs have any songs after the story either, even on musical titles. Though what's interesting in the new DuckTales reboot is how there are a couple of wolves in it. Hackett / Smashnikov. No relation to me, though. I wonder if my buddy Pete will make an appearance in any upcoming episodes. I know he was in a few episodes of the original series. But anyways, there isn't much for me to do now, really, until Halloween comes along, so watch for that!